having grown up here, you know, everybody would say, oh, country music. That's the first thing people would say, Nashville, country music. And you know, I'd always stop and say, you know what? There's a lot of rock and roll recorded in Nashville. And I think that that's where a lot of the rock bands came to Nashville, because Nashville had some of the best musicians.
I moved here because of like all the songs, all the great music that was made here. Once I got here, I realized that as much as this is a music town, it's really a people town. The band that I'm in, Leagues, it kind of has only been able to happen because the community has got around us and literally put gas in the tank.
I got into barbecue. My uncle Bruce cooked barbecue, and you know, my grandmothers on both sides cooked. For me, barbecue was just really important part of childhood and growing up. I think probably for me, food is so important because I'm a pleaser, so I like to make people happy and I like to make people have fun. And I think for me, the easiest vehicle is food.
Songs and sauces, right? They're kind of the same.
There's a recipe to both.
Yeah, you know, and I love sauces, so it's like, we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
I think what makes Nashville interesting as far as a food town is how many great cooks there are in homes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the untold story of Nashville, because I've never lived in a city where as many friends as I have here are really great chefs in their home.
I think of Nashville as a much more cosmopolitan type city that has brought together a lot of different people from a lot of different places. And I think it encourages individuality and people to not shy away from where they came from.
Yeah.
And I think true Nashvillians embrace that.
I'm Andy Muma. I own Barista Parlor, and I've lived in Nashville for 16 years. When I was 18, it was sort of just a really cool job, and about 5 years into it, I really got a passion for coffee. Everything in here is from Tennessee. All the wood was all built by local craftsmen, friends of mine, all of the art. I think my goal was just to build something that I would be proud to have in my neighborhood. We really have a pretty vibrant, progressive food and music culture going on.
Just rendering out pasta. Squid and canestrine are kind of cross between a pasta that is surf and turf, and then also using seafood in the context of a classic ragu with like ground meat. The noodles are made in-house. We have a pasta extruder, and the shape that we're doing is kind of in between a shell and a rigatoni. It's called canestrine, which looks like a shell, and it's also a shellfish dish. So it's kind of like, you know, this intuitive idea that we're using a pasta shape that also kind of mimics the shellfish that we're putting in. And that's really what we're trying to achieve here. It's something that's just a little different than what people normally get with a seafood pasta. That's a good bite.
Oh yeah.